Timewyrm Apocalypse, the third book in the Timewyrm arc, is a strange one. It's not a disaster like Genesys, and it's nowhere near as engaging as Exodus. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it might be one of the most boring Doctor Who novels I've ever read. And look, I don't say this lightly. This book isn't awful, it's not offensive, it's not wildly out of character, but it is painfully slow, frustratingly vague, and filled with ideas that almost work, almost, but fall flat under the weight of almost poor pacing and underwhelming execution. This book is only 200 pages long. That should mean a tighter, faster story, right? Nope. The plot takes nearly 170 pages just to start making sense. Most of the book is spent in circles, characters having vague conversations, hinting about things neither they nor we fully understand, and trudging toward a reveal that should have come much, much earlier. And unlike Exodus, where every chapter deepened the mystery and raised the stakes in a tangible, exciting way, Apocalypse just kind of meanders. There's little tension, there's no strong hook. You keep waiting the book to kick in high gear, and when it finally does, you're already in the final act. It's the shortest Timewyrm book by far, but somehow the one that feels the longest. So let's talk about the most unexpected part of this novel, the recurring cameos of the Second Doctor. At first, his appearances feel random, disconnected flashbacks, or strange interjections. He pops in and out without clear purpose. Even references to his companions, Jamie, Zoe, feel more like Easter eggs than story elements. But eventually, we learn that he's trying to communicate something to his future self. And that idea, that's a good one. The execution, though, not so much. It's too little too late. And it never fully lands emotionally. The twist should have hit harder, but by the time we get there, it's almost an afterthought. That said, there is a great moment late in the book where the second doctor calls out Seven for not trusting Ace and manipulating her. That scene works so well. It's reflective, layered, and gives the story some emotional weight it had been missing until that point. Now, the character work in Apocalypse is okay. Nobody's deeply offensive or widely out of character, but no one stands out much either. The most interesting original character is Raphael, an adventurous, slightly roguish figure who develops a flirty connection with Ace. His arc includes a pretty heavy moment where he kills someone for the first time, but it doesn't quite land the way it should. That scene needed to be from his perspective. We should have felt his own fear, his horror, the weight of what he did. Instead, it comes and goes far too quickly. Ace and the Doctor are written decently. Ace gets one particularly strong scene near the end. After Raphael sacrifices himself, she lashes out at the Doctor, accusing him of manipulation and emotional distance. And it's raw, honest, and powerful. Easily the best scene in the book. But again, it comes too late. That kind of emotional confrontation should have been seeded earlier. The rest of the supporting cast is okay, but mostly forgettable. The book sets up some complex interpersonal tensions, but abandons them in favor of a last minute cosmic threat. So most of the character work just fizzles out. You think a book called Timewyrm Apocalypse would have a lot of Timewyrm in it? You'd be wrong. She barely appears until the final stretch. Her plan possessing someone via a psychic imprint left from the Doctor's past is a cool idea, but once again the execution lets it down. We don't get enough time with her or with the implications of her presence. A genetically engineered perfect species designed and manipulated by higher powers. There's potential for thoughtful commentary here about evolution, control, even free will, but none of it gets explored in depth. It's all setup and no payoff. There are a handful of great scenes scattered throughout Apocalypse. The second Doctor's Regeneration flashback, Ace's breakdown, Raphael's inner turmoil, or at least what should have been his turmoil, and the final confrontation with the Timewyrm does tie things back to the arc, setting up an amazing finale for Revelation, but overall, this book is a slog. It's full of potential, but it's just too slow, too vague, and too unfocused to really work. I don't dislike it the way I dislike Genesys, but I can't recommend it either. Not when Exodus showed just how good this series can be when it's firing on all cylinders. So, with that being said, I'm giving Timewyrm Apocalypse a 5 out of 10. Middle of the road. Not terrible, not good, just there.